अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Okay, so we are doing Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so we discussed this weakness of heart. Right? Okay, we'll continue from here. Text 4. Arjuna said, "O killer of enemies, O killer of Madhu, who is a demon, how can I counteract with arrows in battle men like Bhishma and Drona, who are worthy of my worship?" So they're not demons. You killed a demon, you're asking me to kill Bhishma and Drona, who are worthy of my worship. So he's still arguing why he should not be fighting. It would be better to live in this world by begging than to live at the cost of the lives of great souls who are my teachers. Even though desiring worldly gain, they are superiors. If they are killed, everything we enjoy will be tainted with blood. So Prabhupada says here that this is the height of sense gratification for Arjuna, who wanted to give up his profession of being a Kshatriya and come down to a state of begging. A Kshatriya should never beg. But he is okay with that. He is okay giving up his own dharma because he was completely overwhelmed by compassion. So here, even though desiring worldly gain, they are superiors. And then Prabhupada says that if superiors have fallen from their position, they don't have to be, they should be given up. So if Guru falls down from his position, he should be given up. Not, which is better, conquering them or being conquered by them. Now he is coming to his dilemma. If we kill the sons of Dhritarashtra, we should not care to live. Yet they are now standing before us on the battlefield. So if we killed the sons, we should not care to live, meaning they're so dear to us. If we kill them, then we should also not want to live. That's what he's saying. And yet they are now standing before us on the battlefield. What do we do? Should we kill? Should we conquer them or should I be conquered by them? That is Arjuna's confusion. So after all those intelligent arguments that he put across, finally he says, I'm confused. I don't know. And comes to the very important verse, Karpanya Doshopahata Swabhava. Prachami Tvam Dharma Samuda Chetaya Shreyasyan Nishchitam Bruhitan Me Shishyasteham Shadimam Tvam Prapnam. Now I'm confused about my duty and I've lost all composure. Confused about my duty. First thing he was concerned was about his duty, dharma, vritti dharma. He's confused what he should do. And because of that confusion, he lost all composure because of his kripanata, miserly weakness. Now, unfortunately, in today's world, nobody bothers about duty. Everybody is just worried about sense gratification, happiness, convenience. But he was not worried about that. He was worried about his duty. And because of his karpanya dosha, miserly weakness, he is lost all composure. In this condition, I am asking you to tell me for certain, Nishtitam, Shishyast, Yashreya, what is best for me? Yashreya Syan, Nishtitam Bruhitan me. Tell me for certain. Why? Now I am your disciple. Shishyasteham. Prapannam, soul surrendered unto you. Shishyasteham Chadi. Please instruct me. So, this is the real position of a conditioned soul. That he doesn't know what his duty is. And like we discussed yesterday, we are caught up in miserly weakness of heart. We don't know what is right, what is wrong. And we're just living on material attachments. But then what should we do? We should go to the Guru and ask him for certain what is best for us. Not what we want to hear. What we want to hear is mostly prayers. So here in this verse, Krishna talks about Shreyas. So there is Shreyas and Prayas. Shreyas is ultimate good. Prayers is temporary, momentary happiness or good. You cannot call it good also. Momentary happiness. Like children wanting to play all day, immediately they get happiness. But parents are concerned about their future. Parents concerned about the future is Shreyas. Children wanting to play all day and enjoy is Prayas. Child wanting to eat chocolate is Prayas. Mother concerned about dental condition going forward is Shreyas. So most of modern civilization is just about prayers. Nobody even knows that prayers is not good and that they should be worried about Shreyas. So Arjuna, though he was talking like a very learned man, he just said, I don't know. So I'm coming to you, I'm surrendering to you. A disciple has to surrender to a guru. And the guru will instruct, not suggest, not give options. He instructs, and instruct means order. And to follow that order, a disciple has to be disciplined. I'm your disciple, so I should be disciplined. I should be ready to accept the instructions of the guru. This surrender is what we were talking about yesterday, giving up our freedom and willing to follow whatever instructions, orders come from the guru. And then he is substantiating, I can find no means to drive away this grief, which is drying up my senses. I thought I could drive it away by my logic, but it's not. It's not happening. I will not be able to dispel it, even if I win a prosperous, unrivaled kingdom on earth with sovereignty like the demigods in heaven. So even if there is position, power, wealth, etc., it will not drive it away. This is the truth. People are all unhappy, and no amount of material possessions will make them happy. Sanjay said, having spoken thus, Arjuna, chastier of enemies, told Krishna, Govinda, I shall not fight. Then Govinda, why? Because Govinda means one who gives happiness to cows and senses. You're supposed to give happiness to my senses. So happiness to my senses is that I should not fight. So I will not fight. Oh, descendant of Bharata, at that time Krishna, smiling, midst of both armies, spoke the following words to the grief-stricken Arjuna. A Kshatriya, such a powerful Kshatriya, was grief-stricken, and he came to Krishna and surrendered. And Krishna is smiling because he knows what's going on. He's saying, you spoke so logically, so many big arguments. Now what happened? Oh, he was ready to get instructed. So Krishna starts his instructions. If somebody has any questions, you can ask in the middle. There's so many topics we'll discuss, so you might even forget what your question is by the end of the session. Okay, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Sochyananvasochastvam pragnavadam shabashase ritasu nagatasum anusochanti pavita. Sochyan anvasochastvam pragnavada. You're speaking learned words, like pragna, like very learned person. You're giving vada, all arguments. But you're mourning for what is not worthy of grief. What was he mourning for? He was mourning about killing his superiors. And it was the central topic here was about killing. And they're dying. So Krishna is saying that's not worthy of grief because everybody's going to die. Those who are wise lament neither for the living nor for the dead. So now he is giving a reason. Those who are wise, those who are in knowledge, they lament neither for the living nor for the dead. So we start off the instructions of Bhagavad Gita with Krishna telling us not to lament about this body and things connected with this body. Because that was Arjuna's position. Krishna, in one sentence, no logic, no nothing, conclusion he gives off. First he gives the conclusion. Don't lament. Don't lament for what? Neither for living nor for dead. Now why? I will tell now. Next verses I will tell why. But you should stop lamenting. Hmm. So, see, this also shows one more thing, saying that Krishna gave an instruction directly. Hmm. So you might say Krishna has not given any instruction to Arjuna, isn't it? Krishna is just saying, like in general, those who are wise lament neither for the living nor for the dead. But Krishna's intention was, it was targeted at Arjuna. Arjuna, you are wise, you should not lament neither for the living nor for the dead. So it's an instruction. And this is how we are supposed to receive instructions from Guru and other senior Vaishnavas. Many times devotees tell saying, Prabhu, no, my Guru Maharaj did not give any instruction to me. But even a general statement like this spoken by authorities should be taken as instruction because they're not doing some entertaining talk. So those who are wise lament neither for the living nor for the dead. So if we are wise, then we will not lament for this body. Right? And we should be wise because Bhagavad Gita is the topmost knowledge. Once we've heard Bhagavad Gita, we should become wise and we should stop lamenting about this body. And things connected with the body, which is what it was. Actually, here it was Arjuna and Arjuna's bodily connections, right? Bodily relations. So one should not lament for the body and things connected with the body. Now, specifically, he is talking about the living beings connected with the body. He is talking about Bhishma and Drona in this. Natyevaham jatunasam natvam neme janadipah nachaiva na bhavishyama sarve vayamata param. Never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. So we are all eternal. We don't perish with this body. As the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change. So again, Krishna did not have to explain to Arjuna that, you are the soul, you are not the body, and, go into all that basics, ABCD. Because Arjuna knew all that. So you just reminding him, soul just leaves this body and goes to another body at death. So sober person is not bewildered by this change of the body. We are all eternal, which is we are the soul, and the soul just passes on to another body at death. And anyway, even when within this body, the soul passes through boyhood, youth, and old age, which is basically body changing. Just that at death, it changes into completely different looking body, different situation, different parents, different, place, different language, etc. That's all. So sober person, just like he is not bewildered about the soul passing through boyhood, youth, and old age, he is not going to be bewildered about getting a new body. We don't have to get worked up about dying. The natural process that will happen to this body, and it has to happen because that's how we make progress to the next destination. Right? Like saying there are three types of devotees. The Nirapeksha, Swanishtita, Parinishta, Swanishta, Parinishthita, Nirapeksha. Nirapeksha can leave his body anytime he's ready to go. He's liberated. Like, as in he can go to Krishna Loka immediately. Anytime he's ready. But the others, their change happens only at the time of death. And so death is an important milestone, event that has to happen in the life of such a devotee because only at death, like we see in the case of Bhishma Dev, in the case of Narada, etc., like only at the time of death will the change happen. And the body would have got spiritualized, but if you have to get a spiritual body, then we have to drop the material body completely, and that change happens only at death. Death is an important event, and devotees especially should not get bewildered by either their own death or somebody else's death. We should just look at the progress of the Atmas. The Atma has gone elsewhere, and possibly for a better destination. If the devotee was sincere and seriously practiced bhakti, then definitely it is for a better destination. So no need to lament. Of course, we lament if Vaishnavas go because now we miss their association, their guidance, their instructions, etc. But we should not lament like others, normal people lament for death of a person whom they loved. So a person is not bewildered by such a thing. O son of Kunti, the non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress and the disappearance in due courses are like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons. They arise from sense perception, Sayana of Bharata. One must learn to tolerate them without being. So the body is temporary. The suffering and happiness of the body is temporary. And why is this suffering and happiness being experienced? Because of sense perception. Because the senses can perceive. The senses have been given the ability to perceive the sense objects or perceive the tanmatras, the touch, sound, etc. So they're able to perceive this, and so there is some experience of happiness and distress. But then one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed, because it's happening only to the temporary body and not to the Atma. So even the sense perception is, why is it sense perception? It is sense perception because the body has a nervous system, right? And that gives us a perception, a feeling, an experience, right? But it is happening because of this perception which is there in the body in which we are living. So there is the brain, there are all these nervous system, etc. So if there is pain in some part of the body, then there is pain experienced. Meaning there are impulses which go to the brain, and then there is understanding that there is pain. All this is happening in a body which is dead. In a dead body, Krishna has created some wiring which, when the Atma is present, creates a perception of happiness and distress. The perception is there only because the soul is there, because the soul is giving energy to the body. So the nerves, the whatever the nervous system, the impulses, that this and all, it's all functioning because there's energy being given by the soul in the form of pumping of blood to the various parts of the body, and thereby those organs are functional as they're expected. And so the brain is feeling a perception of feeling a sensation of pain. But Krishna is saying that's just a perception. It's a sense perception. Okay, is it real? Yes, it is real in the sense that it is real because it is connected with the body. But it is not real in the sense because the body is dead. But it is real because me as Atma, I am living thinking that I am this body. And so I'm affected by it. Otherwise, I can have pain and not be worried about it. Knowing that, yes, okay, there's a body is experiencing some pain. And the result that I'm experiencing pain is because of my past karma. And I have to just tolerate it and go on with my duty. Right? So this is about sense perception. Whatever we experience is because of sense perception. We must learn to tolerate them. And we should not become disturbed. We should not become disturbed. Either mentally we should not become disturbed, or even in terms of our activities, we should not become disturbed as long as it's not very troubling. Of course, and if it is troubling, then we try to, uh, we look for some temporary solution, right? A cure, so that we can go on with our eternal activities of devotion or even our duties for that matter. But whatever attempt we make to get a remedy will give us a remedy only if it is destined. So if we try and we didn't get, we should still tolerate. Most people think, okay, if I put some, I'm trying, then I should get the result. I'm going to the doctor, so I should be cured. No, we are just making an attempt. If there is cure, then that cure will be experienced. If there is prolonged suffering, then that prolonged suffering will be experienced. Hmm. And what about this person who is not disturbed by happiness and distress? A person who is not disturbed by happiness and distress and is steady. Nishta. This is the stage of Nishta for a devotee. Steady. Steady in his devotion. Is certainly eligible for liberation. This is Nishta is called Mukti, Brahma Bhuta. Mm. So this is the stage of liberation. So just we have to not be disturbed by happiness and distress. Then we are liberated. And as devotees, practicing Bhakti Yoga, this is the first major milestone for us. Adoshatta tata sadhu sangha bhajana kriya anartha nivritti. Then Nishta. So once all the anarthas have gone, what are anarthas? What are anarthas? Anybody? Quickly. Okay. Okay. Anarthas are unwanted things that we have. Artha means beneficial, and anartha means not beneficial. Um, and they're called Arishad Varga or Shad Ripu. Six enemies, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. But they arise because of the modes of passion and ignorance. So we'll talk about this later. Okay. Um, so, um, so once these anarthas have gone, meaning we have conquered mode of passion and ignorance, which means we have situated in mode of goodness, then all these six anarthas are gone, and that is anartha nivritti. Then, in the mode of goodness, we come to the stage of nishta, fixed practice of devotion, steady practice of devotion, not no ups and downs, not getting attracted to material things and getting distracted so much that bhakti itself got affected. Which is why I keep telling so many devotees saying that don't take a holiday. Devotees are in the mood of taking a holiday. Oh, children, holidays means we also take holiday because that is not nishta. Which is why for grihasthas it takes time. Takes time. Mm. So we should understand saying that nothing should stop my devotion. Okay, fine. I went to wherever somebody else's house, but if you go to somebody else's house, then obviously my routine is affected. My devotional activities are affected. Mm. Then, which means that we cannot be steady in our devotion. Right? And then in the middle, suddenly some material thing attracts us. Oh, I should buy this, I should do that, I should do this. We get pulled down to the material platform. That is all because of anartha. Once we reach the stage of this steadiness or liberation, we are absolutely steady. We are absolutely steady in doing our activities. The superior duty, paradharma, and that is liberation. In that stage, we don't get disturbed by happiness and distress because we have lost, we're not attached to material platform anymore. And like I said, this is the first major stage in our devotional life. Is getting over anartha nivrutti and coming to nishtha, or mukti. This is mukti. Okay. So then he is now going to describe Atma Gnana. So he says, okay, those who are serious of truth have concluded that of the non-existent material body, there's no endurance. It doesn't continue forever. And the eternal, the soul, there's no change. And this they were concluded by studying the nature of both. That which pervades the entire body, you should know to be indestructible. This is the Atma, which pervades the entire body. It's indestructible. No one is able to destroy that imperishable soul, a material body of the indestructible, immeasurable, eternal, living entity, sure to come to an end. Why immeasurable? Because by material means we cannot measure. And also, actually, the power of the soul also cannot be measured at this point of time because it is power. Okay, therefore, fight. So, basically, Krishna is saying that don't get bogged down by the body. That body is going to come to an end anyway. But this body belongs to the indestructible, immeasurable, eternal Jiva. Neither he thinks the living entity is the slayer, nor he who thinks it is slain is in knowledge, for the self slays nor is slain. For the soul, there is neither birth nor death. Is not come into being, does not come into being, will not come into being. Meaning is eternal, is unborn, is eternal, is ever existing, is primeval. Is not slain when the body is slain. O Partha, how can a person who knows that the soul is indestructible, eternal, unborn, and immutable kill anyone or cause anyone to kill? How can he kill anyone? Because he can't kill anyone. The body is anyway dead. And that soul is eternal. So how can he kill anyone? The person puts on new garments, giving up old ones. So soul similarly accepts new material bodies, giving up old and new. That's all. Soul can never be cut to pieces, nor burned, nor moistened, nor withered. The individual soul is unbreakable, insoluble, can neither be burned nor dried. He is everlasting, present everywhere. Present everywhere. Sarvagata. So is there everywhere. Unchangeable, immovable, eternally the same. He said that the soul is invisible, inconceivable, and immutable. So many characteristics of the soul. Knowing this, you should not grieve for the body. So he is describing so many qualities about the soul here. To say that soul is glorious, soul has so many amazing qualities, which is beyond our experience currently, because our experience is with something which gets cut to pieces by weapon, which gets burnt, etc. But the soul is none of this. The soul is not material. He's giving all these examples of things that affect material things, and then indirectly saying the soul is not material, soul is spiritual, soul is eternal. So knowing this, don't grieve for the body. Body is anyway dead. If, however, you think that the soul will always be born and die forever, meaning you don't think that the soul is eternal, you think the soul also has birth and death, you still have no reason to lament. Because one who has taken birth is sure to die. After birth is again sure to take birth. Why are you lamenting? So in the unavoidable discharge of your duty, you should not lament. It's just an argument. It's just an argument. That's all. It's not like a real fact. All created beings are unmanifest in the beginning, manifest in their interim state, and unmanifest again when annihilated. The body is annihilated. So what need is there for lamentation? So the jiva is eternal, the body is temporary. So what is the need for lamentation? And then some look on the soul as amazing, some describe him as amazing, some hear of him as amazing. But they cannot understand him. Why we cannot understand him? Because we are so much attached to the body, we think we are the body, we think we are the mind, that we cannot understand the soul. We cannot understand the soul. And that's why Prabhupada kept repeating this. I'm not body, I'm soul. I'm not body, I'm soul. And we can only understand this when we engage in the activities of the soul. Till then, we can't understand. Even after we engage in the activities of the soul, we still possibly continue to live thinking we are the body till the stage of liberation. Or at least, if not completely thinking that we are the body, at least living in that bodily consciousness. O descendant of Bharata, he who dwells in the body can never be slain. Therefore, you need not grieve for any living entity, because the soul cannot be slain. And then, Swadharmam apita vekchana vikampitum. Considering your specific duty as a Kshatriya, you should know that there is no better engagement for you than fighting on religious principles. Dharma, you do your Swadharma. So there is no need for hesitation. Don't hesitate to do your duty. And then some karma kanda. Saying, okay, why do other people follow their duty? Because it opens doors to heavenly planets. Kshatriyas to whom such fighting opportunities come unsought. They're very happy because it opens the doors to heavenly planets. Because do your dharma properly, then you get punya and you go to swarga. If, however, you do not perform your dharma, then you will certainly incur sins. Neglecting your duties and thus lose your reputation. So please note this. If we are not doing our dharma, then we certainly incur sins. It doesn't matter whether we are a devotee or not. We certainly incur sins if we don't do our duty. Or somebody might say, okay, Prabhu, this is Kali Yuga. How can one figure out our duty? We'll just do whatever we want. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Sya sthane stita. Or whatever position you are. What did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say? Anybody wants to explain? Anybody? What is your understanding? Whether we should try to do our duty or not? And if we don't perform our duty, knowing what our duty is, will it result in sin or not? Yes, this is important. Anybody? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, this attempt. Duties as prescribed by the Shastras, if we don't do those duties, then we certainly incur sins.
Yes, so whatever is given in the Shastra as our prescribed duty. So I was talking about this word prescribed. What does prescribed mean? Not I decide for myself. That is not prescribed. Medicine prescribed by the doctor, meaning given by somebody competent, given by an authority. Similarly, our the Varnashrama Dharma, the rules or system that is given by Krishna in the Vedas is the prescribed duty. That gives us our prescribed duty. Chatur Varna Maya Shishtam Guna Karma Vibhagashaha. So for Varna and for Ashrama, based on our Varna and Ashrama, we have certain duties. And we need to follow that. We need to perform. And that is Dharma. That is Dharma. This is called bodily Dharma. When a person is conditioned, one has to follow bodily Dharma.
So,
One second, Prabhu, I'll complete. So, and then if we don't do our Dharma, then we'll certainly incur sins. Why? For neglecting our prescribed duties. So please understand, we have to know our duty and we have to do our duty. Otherwise, even if we are doing devotion, we will still incur sin. Of course, then there is one quality of devotion which might, destroy all this sin. Is Sarvadharman Parityaja. Since Krishna, I'm given up all this duty, consideration, etc. I'm just working because I have to just live. But my life is about devotion to you and nothing else. And in that mood, if somebody has surrendered to Guru and Krishna, then it doesn't matter what he's doing. Then there is no sin. Till we live a life of sense gratification, not completely surrendering ourselves to Krishna. We have to follow the duty. We have to know our duty and follow it. Otherwise, we'll incur sin. Yeah. Yes, Abhijit, true.
So, Prabhu, two things like according to the Shastra and Vedas, whatever we are doing, that is like according to the Shastras, we are dharma is defined. What is dharma? What
Yeah.
we should do. Then also we are talking about duty. So, being in Grihastha, so our at this moment, since we are serving our families
Yeah.
as a seva, whatever it's given to us.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now we being in Grihastha, we are both are the same thing, whatever defined in the dharma in the Shastra, and
Yeah.
then what we are doing right now.
Yeah. So in Grihastha Ashrama, the Grihastha Dharma is to actually give a Krishna conscious life to the family. This is our Dharma. Now, instead of doing that, if suppose say we are living for some kind of sense gratification, which mostly people, non-devotees, they think that the family life means somehow figuring out some way to enjoy, right? For example, there are holidays, let's go out and enjoy. And this enjoying, till this enjoying mentality is there, then it is not enjoying. Actually, even in Varnashrama, there is enjoyment, but enjoyment also has guidance, has rules and regulations, right? But it becomes very complex because we don't know these rules and regulations and we end up doing wrong things. Right? So, in general, that is why what is advised is as long as we are not living a life of sense gratification, and even our enjoyment, ideally, it should be in connection with bhakti. For example, somebody wants to eat food, okay, eat prasadam, right? Even though there is enjoyment there, it is not sinful. Somebody wants to buy clothes, okay, you buy clothes. And anyway, you are coming to temple, you are only engaging in devotional activities, then it's fine. Somebody wants to read, okay, buy as many books as possible, Krishna conscious books as possible, and read them. Somebody wants to go to some place, okay, go to yatra, go on yatra, go to places where Krishna has done his pastimes, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has done his pastimes, where other avatars of the Lord have done their pastimes. So use your enjoying mentality in Krishna consciousness. Dovetail it. It's called dovetailing. Dovetailing means somehow we have some enjoying propensity. I connect it with Krishna consciousness. Now, when we do this, we are somehow protected because all those activities, though it's Mishra Bhakti, it's mixed devotion, but at least it's not grossly, it won't be grossly sinful, right? In Mishra Bhakti, also there is Karma Yoga. And there will be some, if there are wrong things that happen, if we do some wrong things in the course of those activities, we will have to incur those sins, but that's okay. That won't be very gross. Right? And those sins anyway, Krishna will forgive because as we make progress in Krishna consciousness, we surrender to Krishna at some point in time. So at that point of time, all the karma that is accumulated anyway Krishna will take away. Right? So we should not have this enjoying propensity, this enjoying mindset. We should just do everything as a matter of duty. Okay, I have to take care of my family. I have to make them Krishna conscious. I have to give them facility for practicing devotion. Right? And whatever, like I keep saying, as grihasthas, their major part of purification is their earning. That earning has to be used in Krishna consciousness as much as possible. The rest of the money can be saved so that it can help us to get rid of our duties quickly. So if you have some money saved, then whenever if the children to be married, etc., then we can finish it off with that extra money. Otherwise, we'll have to keep working. So okay, it's okay. It's okay to have money saved so that it can help us get rid of our responsibilities quickly. If somebody is living with this mindset, right, then mostly there won't be any sin. And even if there is any sin, it will not be very gross. And anyway, that sin will go away in course of time when we surrender fully. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else on this? Any? No, there's one misconception in ISKCON saying Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, you can do whatever you want. Yeah, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that for a fully surrendered soul. Like I said, Krishna, I don't care about this dharma. I'm just doing this work because I need some living. So I'm going to use everything in Krishna consciousness. Then that whole money is purified. Then there is no karma coming out. So it's not a preferred mechanism. It's not like somebody remains. And even there, what is recommended is don't engage in grossly sinful karma. Of course, in Kali Yuga, it's very difficult, but at least, we should know that our work is not being used for some grossly sinful activity, directly or indirectly. It is difficult, so we surrender to Krishna, saying that Krishna, what to do? Just, Kali Yuga, please give mercy. And then we stick to serious devotion. If somebody is able to change their profession without too much headache, then it's fine. But the important thing is that we do bhakti. We do bhakti. So that all those requires specific guidance from devotees who are guiding you, etc., etc. Right? Because those decisions should not be taken independently. But the whole idea is that we should not be living a life of sense gratification. Because if we live a life of sense gratification, then we have danger of incurring sin. So we should try to avoid it. Anything else? Anybody? Okay. So I'll just finish this verses. People will always speak of your infamy. For a respectable person, dishonor is worse than death. Now, why is Krishna talking about honor and dishonor? Devotees amanina manadena, right? You should not care about his respect or his, somebody respecting him. But Krishna is just, this is again also some kind of karma. Normally in a society, people want to be respectable, honored, etc., etc. So he's saying, if you don't do your duty, you lose your reputation as a fighter. Then people will speak of your infamy, and it's not good. This is worse than death. The great generals who have highly esteemed your name and fame will think that you have left the battlefield out of fear only. They won't consider that, out of some higher purpose, some, that you can thinking that it is sin and this and that and all that you will have. Just think, yeah, you're scared, ran away. Thus, they will consider you innocent. Your enemies will describe you in many unkind words and scorn your ability. What could be more painful for you? So he's saying, oh, son of Kunti, either you will be killed on the battlefield and attain heavenly planets, or you will conquer and enjoy earthly kingdom. Therefore, get up with determination and fight. This was a completely material argument. Krishna is given a completely karma mimamsa, material argument, saying that, you work, you get something, you enjoy. Or you either enjoy in this life or you enjoy in the next life, based on the type of good karma you're doing. So get up and fight. Okay, so we'll stop here. But now Krishna also then goes ahead and says how we should fight. Okay, let me finish this actually. Saying, do thou fight. Suddenly it sounds like some Bible. Do thou fight for the sake of fighting, without considering happiness or distress, loss or gain, victory or defeat, and by so doing, you shall not incur sin. So, if you simply work as a matter of duty, you will not incur sin. You should just work as a matter of duty without considering happiness or distress. I know people can't work like this, right? And Krishna will talk about this later. People want happiness from the work. People want gain. People want victory. Krishna is saying, no, don't worry about all that. This is your duty, just work. You'll get whatever you're supposed to get anyway. So just do your work for the sake of fighting. So just do your dharma. Then you will not incur sin. So if you know dharma, if you just work for dharma, then we don't incur sin. Meaning no desire for sense gratification, no considering happiness, distress, loss, gain, victory, or defeat. Just I'm doing this duty because it's my duty. Like Prabhupada gives this example saying that, kitchen women will cook irrespective of what month of the year, how cold it is, how hot it is. No, they'll just cook. Like that, we should just go on with our duty without considering any of this happiness, distress, loss, gain, victory, defeat. And then we'll not incur sin. Otherwise, we'll incur sin. If we don't do our duty, we will incur sin. If we do our duty without attachment, we will not incur sin. Okay. So we'll stop here. Now Krishna will move from, so he'll now talk about bhakti. Okay, now this is where most of our previous acharyas like differ in their commentary. Okay, some describe the following verses as karma yoga. And Prabhupada, he describes all these verses as bhakti yoga. So this is why Krishna here uses the word buddhi yoga. He doesn't explicitly say whether it's karma yoga or bhakti yoga. He says buddhi yoga, meaning use your buddhi to connect with me. And Prabhupada translates this as working without fruitive results, which is nishkama karma. This is actually called nishkama karma, without kama, without any results, without expectation any result, you work. But actually then when we work without any desire, and then it should be for Krishna's pleasure. So, but then Prabhupada actually goes ahead and describes all the subsequent verses as devotion, bhakti. One is that, of course, it will get as we'll get rid of the bondage of the karma phala, because we are working, but we are not accumulating more karma phala. But more importantly, so just for us to understand the difference between working without attachment and direct doing devotion, one is called karma yoga, other is called bhakti yoga. Directly doing devotion is called bhakti. Doing work without expectation for result or using it to connect with Krishna, using it to connect with Krishna, using work to connect with Krishna is called karma yoga. Doing work without fruitive result is called nishkama karma. They're okay because they're not going to create a result in more sins, but they're not devotion. So most of the devotees in Grihastha Ashrama, they will be working without fruitive results and are using that Lakshmi in Krishna's service. If they use that Lakshmi for yoga, then it is good because they'll get purified, and then anyway they are practicing bhakti simultaneously. So once their grihastha dharma is over, they'll continuously practice bhakti and surrender to Krishna. And they would have surrendered. They might have surrendered even now. So for devotees, as long as we are doing work without fruitive results and using it for Krishna, even though it cannot be directly called bhakti yoga, Prabhupada calls it Krishna karma, working for Krishna. It's free of sins. It's free of sins. And if we can actually work for Krishna directly, which is also good. But if we can work elsewhere, but use everything that we gain for Krishna, that is also good. But please note that that is not a replacement for bhakti. There's one confusion among devotees saying that I can keep working throughout my life because I'm using it for Krishna. No, that will not come to the platform. That will not be called technically bhakti. It is karma mishra bhakti. Till we have a propensity to work, our bhakti is mishra. So at some point of time, we should give up work. We should give up work. There's no question about this. Bhakti doesn't say, Krishna, Prahlad Maharaj is saying, Shamanam Kirtanam Vishnu, where he is not saying that Kama Karma or Karma Yoga. No. He's saying Shamanam Kirtanam Vishnu. We have to, at some point of time, come to the stage of engaging our full time in direct activities of bhakti and give up our work. But till we come to that stage, we should work without fruitive results, so that at least we don't incur sins. And we should not be engaged in grossly sinful activities. This is what is recommended for devotees. Okay. Here, if there is any other question.
Pranam, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Ruchi. No, go ahead.
Okay. Prabhuji, there's a shloka, na, as soon as a living entity is born, it becomes a debtor to the five Pitrinam Bhutapurnina.
Hmm.
That way, like if we take up devotional service, then we get rid of those debts. But we have
Hmm.
to follow the prescribed duties till we attain pure devotion.
No,
Is
so
it?
there are two things here, right? One is that is Devarshi Bhutaptananam. That is our obligations, right? The obligations are there for every jiva. Now, unless we take up devotional service fully and surrender, we still have obligations to fulfill. We have to surrender. The important thing is to surrender to Krishna. If you surrender to Krishna, then we don't have any obligations. But that has nothing to do with our current duties, as in that is also part of Grihastha duty. Grihastha duty is also is to take care of current family and also take care of previous obligations. Everything has to be taken care. All of that together is dharma, Grihastha dharma. Mm,
Okay, Prabhuji.
yeah.
And Prabhuji, regarding Shraddh, there is so much confusion. Like some devotees ask, like, should we do it? Isn't it Karam Kanda? Please, like,
Yeah.
clarify this.
Yeah, so there are 10 samskaras which are recommended even for devotees, and Shraddha is one of those samskara. But the samskara should not be done by smarta brahmanas. You should not get it done from smarta brahmanas because they will go into karma kanda. Mantras will take you into karma kanda. Dharmartha, kama, moksha, chaturvida pala purushartha siddhyartham. Now all these kind of things they will say, and it's all about punya and swarga. Right? So these things should be done by Vaishnava. Vaishnava Brahmanas who are practicing, who are doing all the samskaras, so that it can be done in the right way. And Shraddha, anyway, the core heart of Shraddha is Pinda Pradhana or giving to Vishnu Prasada, which can be directly done by offering Vishnu Prasada. But it has to be done. It has to be done so that the jiva, whoever our parents or grandparents who are there, they will also get some benefit out of that. And if they are in some very difficult situation, sinful situation, struggling, they'll get some benefit from the shraddha that we do, so that they can eventually come to devotion. And that should be our prayer. When we do this also, we should pray saying that, Krishna, through this Vishnu Prasada, let that jiva come to your lotus feet. So samskaras are recommended. Samskaras should be done, should not be given up. Should not be given up.
Yes, Prabhuji. Got it. Thank you.
Which is actually Prabhupada wanted Vaishnava Brahmanas, wanted trained Brahmanas who can do these kind of samskaras. That's very, very required, very much required. Okay, Vamshi Prabhu, 1 second. So Aruna Mataji has asked one more question in the chat saying that there's a lot of confusion or somewhere in my message or somewhere. Yeah, a lot of confusion. What is dharma? So simplistically put, it is based on our guna and karma. Guna, right? Basically our nature. So based on our nature, or we are born in certain family, and of course born in certain family, and if you have those traits, for example, if somebody is born in a Kshatriya family and he has Kshatriya traits, otherwise based on his guna, he should do his work. Right, and we've discussed this. There's Purusha Dharma, Stri Dharma. Stri Dharma is Stri Dharma, right? And the whole Varna, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra is mostly for Purusha. That guides the Vritti of the Purusha. There's no Vritti for Stri, as per Shastra. And so accordingly, we have to do our duties. So Stri has to take care of her duty, Purusha has to take care of his duty, but you do work as per his Varna. And then there won't be any consideration of sin. Okay, Aruna Mataji. Okay, Vamshi Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, well, while we are doing duties, and if we end up actually dovetailing, right? So, will that also lead to sins,
And that
Prabhu?
is called Karma Yoga. That is just called Karma Yoga. But if
Yoga,
your work is itself resulting in sin, then to the extent that you are doing the dovetailing, to that extent you will become free from sin. Which is why we keep telling Grihastha saying, donate Lakshmi. The reason we tell donate Lakshmi is even if there are some sinful activities results coming out of your karma, because you are offering it to Krishna, at least to that extent it will be purified. Right? Anyway, our Acharya said 50% has to be given to Krishna. Now, instead of 50%, if you give 10%, then you get benefited. At least to that extent, your karma that you're accumulating will be, it will be purifying. Basically, by that charity, you will get purified of the contamination that you are accumulating because of your karma. Hmm.
Understood, Prabhu. Okay.
And for Grastas, that is actually, like I've told this multiple times, right? Because we are so busy with things, we don't have time, this, that, and all that, and we spend so much of time in earning money. That money has to get purified. Otherwise, we are going to get stuck. We will get, of course, see, if somebody is so exalted that they are not using their money at all for Krishna consciousness, then it's fine. Like I said, still on a month-on-month basis, there should be some charity that is done. Krishna to some money that has to be offered to Krishna, and then the rest of it can be kept as savings. Right? But our mentality, we are so much, behind this money and sense enjoyment. Oh, we have some money. Oh, I have 1 lakh, 1 lakh spare in my account. What can I do with it? So this kind of, if our mindset is like this, then it's safe not to keep money. Then put it in, whatever. Like I said, then it is all individual guidance then has to be given based on the nature of individuals as to what needs to be done with that money, so that it doesn't mislead the devotee into some sense gratification in the future. Many people think, okay, I have some 2 lakhs, okay, let me go on a foreign tour. Now, if you have things like this in our mind, then better we think about keeping money in our bank accounts, right? We have to be worried about it.
So
Okay.
here, Prabhu, in this case, like one is our acharyas saying that 50% needs to be given to Krishna Seva. So that is one aspect, and another aspect is finish off your quick responsibilities as
Correct.
Grihastha
Correct.
and then
Yeah.
start
Yeah. So
being
for
there.
us,
So how do
yes.
what do we prioritize?
Yeah. Which is what for us, in this day and age, what is better is to give whatever we can comfortably give to Krishna every month, and then keep the money in such a way that we won't misuse, and it is available for us to retire early. That should be our goal. But like I said, it should be controlled, because just when we see too much money in our bank account, we might also get excited about doing something. The thought was not there at all. But oh, now that I have 10 lakhs, why don't I just change my car? We are like this. So we have to be very careful so that we don't just, misuse it. Yeah.
Understood, Prabhu. Okay.
Okay. Nagaraj Prabhu is asking, what are the 10 samskaras? Is it important for a devotee to care of all the runas and do the necessities? It is important, but it is impossible because we can't take care of all the runas. And that is why Krishna is saying, Sarva Dharman Parityaja Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. Okay. So we have to surrender to Krishna to take care of the runas. Now, the samskara has nothing to do with the runa. Okay. The samskaras are chosen for one, retaining Vedic culture, two, purify the most important activities in our life. Like I've asked one of our devotees to actually make a document on the 10 samskaras so that, I want to actually print it also. 10 samskaras. So put it down. I'm remembering and then forgetting. So we will produce one small book for this, right? Why is it important? But more important thing for devotees is to think about surrendering to Krishna, not so much about what all obligations can I overcome. But at the same time, these are 10 samskaras to be done. 10 samskaras are like jata karma, then upanayana, then vivaha, then like garbhadana samskara, this shraddha, like this. There are very important ones, not yeah. There are small ones, there are unimportant ones, there are many, right? But 10 samskaras, we will get it documented with clear details about why a devotee also has to do, and how it has to be done, etc. So that, and that is something that we should protect in Vaishnava community, the samskaras. Yeah, but again, I'm clarifying the Rina doesn't get possibly just, we don't get rid of our Rinas just by doing these samskaras. For getting rid of the Rinas, we have to surrender to Krishna. Pradharman Pariteja, Mamekam Charnamda. Then Krishna is going to take away all. Otherwise, this is what Vedic life was all about, right? Knowing and doing so many samskaras, so many rituals, this, that, and all that, and then we will not do bhakti at all. So, for example, just for your understanding, for example, Devarshi, Bhutapta, Nranam, Pitranam, Deva, Rishi, Bhuta, Apta, Bhuta, all jivas. For example, you have to do so much social work. For example, you have to feed animals. So like this, there'll be like so many things for us to, get rid of our rinas, which nobody has time, nor, even if you do it, it's no guarantee that, because it's all karma and how we do the karma, whether we got the result, etc., etc. So for us in Kali Yuga, it's very simple. Devotees simply surrender to Krishna, follow some 10 samskaras, earn money, use it for Krishna's service month on month, save money if at all. If you think that you are controlled enough to use that money to retire early. This is our general guidance, right? Of course, again, like I said, different specific situation, there might be different things to be told. Is that okay, Nagaraj Prabhu? Yeah.
Understood, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Okay, yeah, Prabha Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, I didn't
Hare
get
Krishna.
that part where people have confusion about what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said regarding the
Sthane Sthita means like basically this one is saying that you do whatever type of karma, it's okay. You keep working, doing your karma throughout your life, it's okay. All these kind of misconceptions, right? So the important thing is to actually, we might not change our vritti, but the mood in which we are doing is important. So what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said was, for a surrendered devotee, he doesn't have to go around finding a different profession. And he said, okay, even grihasthas can do. It's not just for sannyasis, right? So you can be in whatever vritti you're doing, but make sure that you're living a Krishna conscious life.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely not that we should not be working throughout our life. That is absolutely clear, right? At some point of time, we have to enter into 100% of the time doing bhakti.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. Okay, anything else?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Sangat
Yeah, Pranam Mataji.
Prabhu, like this, it is said that the soul is immutable. What exactly do you mean by this?
It doesn't
And-
undergo change.
Does it undergo? No, that is
Mutation.
unperishable. No, mutable,
No.
you usually say when you're not
Mutation.
Okay.
Mutation means change.
pinch,
Change.
change.
Morphing, changing form, like that. Mutation. Like you go dictionary meaning of mutation. One second.
Immutation, it is, right?
Yeah. Immutable means opposite of mutation. Mutation means changing of the structure of a gene. That is mutation, which may result in a variant from. So basically, some kind of morphing, form change, right? So there's no
Okay.
change. Basically, that's what it is. Imperishable means like it doesn't get destroyed. It will remain forever. It doesn't get spoiled.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Got it. Prabhu, and one, we talk about this and the 10 samskaras, and we talk about Shraddh, Prabhu. I mean, one thing I've never been able to properly understand. Once we say the body leaves, the soul leaves, we've got no connection. And now we do samskara to great grandfathers, fathers, then you say you have a debt to pay to them. And
No,
then
but who said we don't have
already-
connection?
Like many times they say कि भी चले जाने के बाद the soul becomes
No,
independent.
no.
No, but
No,
then
no.
he's already taken another body, no, Prabhu.
Yeah, but that is the whole. See, it's the same argument which is for somebody saying that I did some bad karma in my previous life. Why should I struggle now? Why should I suffer for it? It was in a different body, no? It's the same thing. The jiva took on another body in a different family, but doesn't mean that I just lost connection with it, right? Just like previous life I was in some body, now I change my body, doesn't mean that I lost connection to my past life. It's the same thing, same logic.
So whether it
Obvious.
is in any form of life, we are still
Yes,
connected.
yes, we are absolutely, we have the obligation, no, because what is the obligation? The obligation is we came into this world because of them. That is the obligation we have to repay. And they would have given us samskaras, they would have given us training. You know, we are obligated for all these things
Then how
that they
many-
would have done.
Then how many generations, Prabhuji?
How many generations? Generally, Shastra says 3.
3. Okay.
Yeah.
After that, you are not no more.
Yeah. You know, we can't influence also. But bhakti is so powerful that it goes up to 7. But actual, as per Vedic practice, it's only 3.
So in whichever form he is, when you're doing it, once Mataji, she explained it to me. She said, like, suppose he's in a form of a dog also, like, I mean,
Yeah.
God forbidding. And is it that day if he has to meet an accident or he'll get a chunk of meat, is because you've done something. Look, like many times we say, kya acha kiya maine jo bach gayi or something.
Yeah,
is
yeah.
Because
Yeah,
that
yes.
is because of these samskaras.
Yes. So
Is
somebody
that-
would have, yes, correct.
Is this right, Prabhu?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Somebody has done something and we got the benefit.
Okay. Okay.
What about Shraddha for parents who have a daughter be a devotee?
Yeah, like if you don't have a son, yes, Prabhu. If you
Become a
don't have son.
devotee. Become a devotee. That's all. Simple. Go back to Godhead. Don't worry about all these things. See, that is why it is so complicated. It is so complicated. Putra pun nama narakayate narakatayate iti putraha. So you have to have a putra. Now, if you don't have a putra, what is the option? Become a devotee. If you don't have a putra and if you're not a devotee, be okay. God only knows. It's sinful. It's sinful actually. You're going to suffer for that. Anyway, so for devotees, don't worry. Just surrender to Krishna. That's all. Everything is taken care. Okay, I'll stop. It's like 9:30. I don't know if you have work to do or what. Okay. Thank you all for your enthusiastic participation. We'll continue. So it is, I see Bhagavad Gita is always so interesting, right? It's always brings up so many questions, practical. So we have to keep reminding ourselves about all these things. Otherwise, we'll just like forget. Okay, thank you all for joining. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha. In the Bhagavad.
Thank you, Prabhu. We should thank you for having been so patient with us.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank
Dandavat
you,
pranam,
Prabhu.
pranam to everybody.